This is Will.
This is Alex.
Welcome back to another episode of They Mostly Come Out of It. Welcome back, everyone. You know who it is. Sorry we took a week hiatus. Unfortunately, things happened, but we're good.
You have over 200 episodes of content.
We're back.
In addition to live streams.
If you're one of those mega fans, and I'm sure there are at least a few of you that have listened to every single episode, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. But for those new fans, he is right. We have 200 episodes. Over 200 episodes. There's some really good ones.
We're getting close to 300 episodes.
There's some good stuff in there. there's the... I don't know if you want to call it good, but we have the Uwe Boll series. For a time, we just wanted to get that all over with, so we did. And go listen to those. I fall asleep in a dragon scene and then wake up.
Should we do those again when we come to it?
No.
Thank you.
No. You know why we did that whole thing?
So we don't have to do it?
This is for new listeners. We did it so we didn't have to rewatch them. So we didn't, because there was no way we were going to do that.
And I know he's come back. He's
yes,
making movies
we're not
again.
watching it. I'm sorry.
I'm not watching it. I don't care. Unless you literally feel like paying us a very large amount of money.
We can work out an agreement. We have a threshold to where we will watch it. If you're a mega fan and you want us to listen to that, we can work out a fee. But we're not watching it for free.
No.
Life's
too short.
But for all listeners, please go on to wherever you find podcasts. Wherever you listen to Spotify, all that good stuff.
Wherever you consume content.
Please Please like, comment, subscribe, follow us. We do recommendations every 5 episodes. So if you want to get those in and you want us to review movies that you either enjoy or want us to rant about, please do that.
We're doing one for the next episode.
Next episode is going to be a request, and I hope they're excited.
Because
and they're kind of
are.
They're pretty important to the podcast too. So, who you are.
You'll be happy.
You will be happy. And you'll know right away once we post it on Instagram. So
we'll be happy too.
Yeah. Because you recommended some good stuff that we have watched, but we want to review, and I think it deserves to be on the channel too.
Yeah,
I think it deserves to be on the podcast
to watch it.
Because we didn't watch them initially, but you'll see what we mean. Yeah. I think they deserve to have a review on the podcast, though.
That's why the request lines are open,
yes,
baby.
So please get those in. Please share with your friends. Do all that good stuff if you really like us, and we really appreciate you guys listening. Even if you don't do that stuff, this is a passion project, and we're going to continue doing it. So,
film.
Yes.
Blood Rage.
Blood Rage is the movie. If you checked our Instagram, I actually did put it up this time because I forgot last time, but we're good. Wow, what a movie.
This was a lot of fun. This was deeply, deeply stupid.
There is something, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. There's something very wrong with this movie. There is something.
Or is there something intentionally...
I think it might be a combination of both. I don't think all of it was intentional.
No.
I think that most of it was accidental.
Well, I noticed a lot of weird goofs in this that, like, just kind of, because I was laughing so much at the movie, they kind of glazed over me.
Now, I will say,
in normal situations, I might be like, wow, I can't believe they did that. Like, I mean, I'll mention them when we get to them.
Yeah.
But it's just things like that.
I think we'll do chronological.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a rambler, even though it is a slasher movie. And we tend to do ramblers for slashers, but this one's a special case.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of, like, you remember the old Postal games?
Yeah.
Where, I mean, there's a lot of games like that where you can just, like, walk around, murder people. And everyone in the game is so stupid that you can just walk around, murder them, be a troll, and that they won't know what's happening until, you have a knife literally like 5 centimeters from their face.
Well, we talk a lot.
This movie is like that.
What I thought was the most hilarious is we talk a lot about it on this podcast when people like characters die and like there's like almost no reaction to it. Like people will die right in front of their friend's face and the friend like could not be bothered at all. Mm-hmm. That happens multiple times in this movie.
Yes.
Like that happens a lot where they just like have almost zero reaction to their friend dying. Mm-hmm. And it is hilarious. Now, I will say, if you're into weird shit and you like that kind of movie, definitely go watch this before you listen to the review, because it is a wild fucking movie. It is wild.
It is deeply entertaining.
And it is fried. This movie is completely broken. It is...
in a good way.
Like I said, there is something deeply wrong with this movie, but in the best way possible. Mm-hmm. So let's get into it.
So, beginning of the movie, it's...
We're at a drive-through.
Yeah.
A drive-in movie, not a drive-through. A drive-in movie.
And it's set 10 years prior.
It's like 77 or something like that. And so we see... we see a guy walking through.
He buys popcorn.
He buys popcorn and he goes into the bathroom and he buys a condom from a weird guy.
A condom dealer. It's literally a condom dealer.
Well, because you know how in like all those like movies and parody movies, they always like open their jacket and there's like drugs or like some goofy shit.
Something else, yeah.
In this one, he has just a bunch of condoms pinned to him, and then he pulls it out of his like his chest pocket,
and he pulls out a long stream of condoms
and just takes one out, gives him $1, and then we get a montage of just guys macking on girls in cars.
Yep. And
one of them is getting rejected.
Only one.
And then we finally get to the mom of the movie.
So she's on a date, and the guy's trying to get his game on. And
like you establish pretty early on, this mom has like a reputation for being kind of this way. She's a woman of a certain she has needs, and like because they kind of imply it. They kind of imply that she like sleeps around a lot. Because like
I know her real vice. Well,
yeah. Well, we both do. You learn that real quick after this scene.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
You know what her real sin is. Well.
So she looks up, he tries to start making out with her, and she's like, no, what about the kids? And they're like sleeping in back, and for no shit, there's just two twins laying in like the back of this truck, and there's a gun just laying on top of them.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
It never explains it. There's just a gun laying on top of them for no reason. So they start making out, and he's like, oh, they're asleep, and nothing's going to happen. And then the two kids wake up and see their mom like making out,
and one of them is like,
oh, she's at it again.
And so they leave.
They sneak out of the truck and they start like wandering through. Oh no,
yeah, they sneak out and they come up to it's like someone's work truck that's parked there, and
they take like a hatchet.
Yeah, one of them gets a hatchet,
and they start walking around, and then he sees a car and walks up to it, and there's two people having sex.
It's the guy in the beginning who bought the condoms.
Yeah. And he's looking up and he's like, hey,
get out of here, creep.
Hey, twerp, get out of here. And
get out of here, you creep.
This is the first instance of like the weird, because he's just staring at this kid, like balls deep in this woman.
Yes.
Staring at a kid and just keeps being like, hey, get out of here.
Get out of here, you creep.
Hey, you creep. Hey, get out of here. Doesn't move.
No.
Just looks up at this kid.
Well, he doesn't want to lose his mojo. Okay?
And then the kid grabs the hatchet and starts hacking him up.
Hacking him in the face. And the whole time, the other brother who is behind him
just keeps watching.
Dead face stares at the whole thing.
The woman gets away and she runs away and screaming like for help. And then the kid who just murdered the guy walks up to his brother, slaps him in the face with blood, and then slathers his arms and gives him the hatchet. And it's like, help, he killed him. And
then,
And so the brother framed the other brother for the murder. And we jump 10 years, and the mom's coming to the psychiatrist. like a psych ward.
And the whole scene goes into voiceover.
I do not know why they did this because
I think they figured the dialogue was so garbage and awful.
The whole movie's dialogue is garbage.
The dialogue in this movie is golden. It's so well written.
It's cranberry sauce.
Yeah, my brain is cranberry sauce.
So it literally goes in. They start talking, and then for no reason, it goes into voiceover.
So the
psychiatrist is explaining how they had a breakthrough, and
he's talking again.
He's finally talking, and he's explaining how his brother framed him for the murder, and he never murdered anyone.
And the psychiatrist believes him.
I do love the part when she's like,
the mother didn't take...
No, like her reaction was like...
A little negative.
And she's like screaming at the psychiatrist.
No,
that didn't happen. No. And it's like, oh my God.
The mom goes ballistic as the voiceover is just like, her reaction was a little negative.
That's like the first like point of this weird uncanny valley effect, because the voiceover is so calm and like the cadence is just like mid. And so...
Yeah, it's like an ASMR video.
So when they're, like, overreacting, it's hilarious because it's such a juxtaposition from what's going on in the voiceover. Because there's also a scene when the mom gives the son, a piece of pumpkin pie.
A little slice of pumpkin pie.
And he, like, mashes it between his fingers. And she's like, the results are what I expected. And the son just, like, freaks out and throws the pie against the wall. And, like... The mom like starts crying as this like voiceover just continues at this like level cadence, which is calm ASMR.
And then it's Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And the brother who framed the one in the psych
they're all playing football,
and he has his eyes on.
There's these two women jogging, and he has a girlfriend already, presumably.
Yeah.
And they're all playing football, and then he looks over at the joggers, and he goes over and talks to him, and starts being like, "Hey, what's up?" And she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna be at your house for Thanksgiving." I don't know who these people are to them, but
I like to party.
Yeah.
And he's got an interest in her, and the girlfriend's like,
like what the fuck? And so
they have a Thanksgiving dinner. The mom announces that she's getting married.
Yeah, her and her new boyfriend are getting married, and they immediately goes into it, dun dun, and then it shows
while
the son's reaction while drinking milk.
He's a teetotaler, Will.
Yep.
Okay. Unlike us, he is a teetotaler.
Yes.
He only because there's a part where he's like, you know what, this is great, and he's like the hide the pain meme. This is great. I love this. Let's have a toast. And he raises his glass of milk. Everyone else has like wine or champagne or whatever.
And so they all cheers, and then there's a phone call, and the mom goes into the kitchen and is like, "What?" And then she's like, "Terry, get in here, Terry." And so Terry goes in, and she starts whispering, and she's like, "Your brother escaped from this asylum, and the doctor's on her way, and they're gonna like help us capture him and like get him help."
And she's like, "I don't want you to say a single word."
And he's like, "Okay."
Now, but during this scene, I don't know if you noticed, your brain probably did, but there's a part where they're talking, and it cuts to the Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
And the boyfriend's like cutting the turkey, and they're all just having a casual conversation, and it's a big shot of the whole table and everybody there.
Yeah.
And you see Terry start to walk out from behind the kitchen.
Yes.
Then it cuts back to the kitchen and them talking, and he's still there talking to the mom.
Yeah.
And this happens multiple times.
Yeah,
in the movie.
I noticed that. Yeah.
And because the movie's so hilarious, I just didn't give a shit.
Continuity is not a thing in this movie.
No, they don't fucking care.
Continuity, they did not give a single fuck about continuity.
But they are talking, and she's like, "This is important because this sets up one of the big laughs for the movie." Okay, one of the big comedic moments.
Because she's like, Don't tell anyone about this. Like, please don't.
I want to have a good holiday.
Thanksgiving. And so
he's like, okay.
He's like, okay. So
then it cuts back to them at the table again talking, and now you see him come out from under the kitchen again. But this time he actually...
he sits down, and his girlfriend's... No, not the girlfriend. the partier is like, is everything okay? And he's like, oh yeah, it's totally fine. And
hey, you're gonna meet the rest of the family. My crazy wacko brother just escaped.
No, remember. Yeah. Before that happens, he's about to like say something, and then the mom like bursts open the two like swinging doors on the counter. Is like, who wants hot rolls? And like comes out and, like,
all happy,
like starts serving them. And that's when he's like, oh, you're gonna meet the rest of my family. My brother escaped from the asylum.
He says like, my psycho brother just escaped from the asylum. And you just have this shot of the mom just with a piece of bread.
That's why I mentioned the bread, because she's just tearing a piece of bread,
just staring like 1,000-yard stare.
She does that a lot in this movie.
And then it's like later on.
Yeah.
Well, you see
so they're cleaning up Thanksgiving, and the son is like wiping off knives and everything, and then they're just talking about like what they're gonna do and how the doctor's on their way.
Everything's gonna be okay.
And they hear a ring, the doorbell, and so Terry goes over and he answers the door, and a guy points a gun in his face. I'm not kidding.
Because they're twins.
He points a gun in his face, and he's like, okay, Todd, you're coming with me.
Like, no, that's Terry.
That's Terry. He's like, oh, sorry.
Don't worry, it's not a real gun. And it's just
a tranquilizer.
And they're like, yeah, we're looking. And then they talk to the boyfriend, fiance, and then he tells them, yeah, like, just...
Well, he's like, okay, well, like, go over there because he might be on a balcony somewhere. And it's like...
Check. He tells them to check all the patios.
Oh, we also forgot, there's also a scene right before that happened where the fiance is trying to get his Mac on, and Terry sees it, and it goes, don't, and...
Don't forget, that's the...
And
I'm trying to remember.
And the mom also says, like, she's going...
Oh, yeah, she's like...
She's going to start cleaning to calm down.
Yeah, like, I'm going to tidy up. That always calms me.
And so now she's going to start cleaning, right? Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind, because the next few scenes are hilarious with the mom.
The guy tells him,
he's
check
like,
all the patios.
He's like, I'm going to be in my office. If you need anything, please call me there.
And he goes to his office... and just
starts listening to this like evangelical Bible thumper radio.
Yeah, which is hilarious because it's just some dude recording it for the movie. But he goes there to listen to that while the escaped brother just kind of wanders around the city.
So now we get a few scenes of, so the brother's wandering around the city, just looking in windows, being all weird and creepy.
Yeah.
And then we get the mom frantically cleaning while drinking copious amounts of alcohol.
Every scene is just, her with alcohol.
We don't need to go over all of them, but the highlight is the one where she's vacuuming underneath the bed.
And she has a giant glass of wine.
She has like a giant glass of wine as it's like power stancing while like shoving this fucking vacuum underneath the fucking bed.
Or, the multiple scenes later on where she's arguing with the operator.
Yeah, because, you'll see why. But for now, it's just cleaning. Mm-hmm. She's like frantically cleaning and, cleaning and drinking. That's all she's doing. And so we get back to the guy at the office. He's taking a call from like someone.
Yeah, some business associate.
And we see Terry come out from behind and like just stand behind him.
He just stands there.
And so he ends the phone call, and Terry taps the side of the window.
He has a bottle. He has a machete. Little can of beer.
So Terry has a machete, and the fiance has a can of beer. And so Terry
turns around.
Okay, this scene is hilarious. So Terry taps on the window, and the guy turns around, and he's like, "Oh, look what So Terry's okay. So here, I just want to set this up for you. The guy is sitting there with a can of beer in this swivel chair. Terry taps on the window. Terry stands like machete up in the air.
Yes.
The guy turns around, is just open.
Yes.
Just confronting Terry, and instead of like screaming or like saying like what the hell are you doing? Why do you have a machete? Like what's going on? Well, look what the cat dragged in, and then Terry just cuts off his hand.
Hand with beer can flies across the room.
It starts wiggling, and then
blood everywhere.
And the guy's like, oh, he's like holding his forearm. He's like, oh, as like blood just spurts out of the wound. And then he gets like hacked. You don't see exactly what happened, but like Terry swings again. You'll
see it later.
And it cuts. And so now we get the brother wandering around, and now we get so now the girlfriend comes to the apartment complex because she wants to talk to Terry.
Now, actually, we get the doctor and the
you're
guard.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what he is.
The guy that pointed the gun at the wrong brother.
She, tells him like, okay, look for him, and like,
Also, you might be noticing a trend. They just full-fledged announced that Terry was the murderer, right? They didn't hide the fact.
No,
They didn't like make it a mystery whether it was Terry or Todd that was killing people.
Yeah.
They didn't even hide anything.
Yeah.
It's like it's full-blown Terry.
He is wacky.
So like, just keep that in mind, because if you think there's a twist, I think you're going to be sorely disappointed.
The twist is how fucking hard we were laughing
at the end.
No, there's no twist, and
spoiler alert: there is no twist. It's just Terry killing people.
The doctor and her guard man or whatever, they start looking. He's like walking around, and he's like, "Hey," he's like calling for
It's like,
Todd.
"Hey, Terry, you want to get high?" And
he pulls out a joint to start smoking it, and then Terry comes up to him and he's like, "Man, you guys really look alike.
Wow, you really look similar."
Hey,
he says it twice.
You wanna? I need this to calm down. You wanna hit? And Terry takes a hit,
and then pulls out a machete.
And then he's like, "No, the whole scene.
The machete's behind his back.
He's holding it behind his back with his hand, and the guy starts talking. He's like, the doctor thinks Todd never killed anyone. And Terry's like, oh, yeah?
And you're like, yes, he did. And,
yes, he did.
And he stabs him with a machete.
And there's blood everywhere.
And he keeps saying, he's like, yes, he did.
Yes,
he did.
And then there's an amazing scene where the doctor's wandering around in like a fucking swamp. And And she's wandering around, and you just see she sees something, and she screams, and then she just stands there, screaming.
I know she sees something and just literally freezes in place while screaming.
And then you see like a fucking like Evil Dead zoom shot at her, and then it cuts to like the mom, getting drunk and yelling at an operator.
And then it shows the doctor on the ground cut in half.
No, so it's her like trying to reach the fiance, and it hard cuts to the doctor, like the fiance, like propped up
on his desk
with an arm missing, but just
with a hand missing, yeah,
but just propped up. And just a phone ringing, and then it cuts to
the doctor laying on the ground,
cut in half.
Her intestines laying on the ground, and she's like, blah, 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 just dying.
And Terry's just like, hey, just walks around laughing.
And now we get the girlfriend coming to the apartment complex. So yes, I did skip those 2 deaths. Sorry about that. And so she comes there, and she's trying to get into the house, right? Because no one's answering. Mom is like completely blotto drunk, and like calling operators and frantically cleaning the house. And so she goes to the back door, and Todd confronts her,
and she thinks it's Terry. She's
like, you know what? I need to talk to you, Terry. I need to explain myself. And how people don't recognize that they have completely different haircuts and completely different wardrobes, I don't know.
And just the way they
act,
carry themselves.
But like, it's like this is a world where if you're a twin, your individual personality does not differentiate you between your twin.
No, that's fine.
If you're a twin, you are identical to that person for some reason.
But yeah, she's just like wants to have a conversation, and how stuff hasn't been so good in their relationship lately. And she's like,
she's like, you know what? Make love to me.
Come on.
And Todd's like, I'm Todd. and she's like, oh shit. And he's like, I've never kissed a girl before. And she runs away.
I know at some point during this, Terry, he goes, he gets rid of his bloodstained clothes and goes and
showers
and poofs up his hair.
He's going to go party time with the party girl.
And he goes over to the party girl's house where she's babysitting.
And she practically throws herself at him, and he just wants to watch movies.
She's like, what's on TV? And there's a hilarious part where, they're watching some dude get murdered in another movie on TV. And he's like, man, how can they show this filth on TV?
Well, I love it because I haven't looked into it, but I almost guarantee that's the director's movie.
He didn't direct it, the movie on the TV, but he wrote it.
Ah, see? I knew it had a connection.
So there is a connection.
And so then, like, the parent, so the mom of the baby gets home, and with this, like, doofus.
And they're like, okay, well, we can leave. And the guy starts being like, wow, you let them drink?
And she's like, I told them they could have some fun. And he's like, why do you let kids drink? I'm just looking out for you. And they're like, we're not kids.
Yeah, he's like, we're not kids. And then they leave. And and then the woman, his actual girlfriend, talks to, it's like these two guys.
It's like the other friends. Yeah. They're like the other friends in the friend group.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter because they all die, so it's fine. And so they're talking, and they're like, hey, like, the craziest thing happened. Todd tried to kiss me. And I'm like, what? That is not what happened.
Yeah, not
Todd
at all.
didn't even try and kiss you. He just stated a fact.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, shit, like, that's crazy. Let's go find Terry. And she's like, no, I just want to get out of here. Like, let's just get out of here. And then
I know they go.
Something keeps them there, though. I don't think they actually go.
Well, what ends up happening is they end up going to a party.
Right. Okay.
With the party girl. So it's the two girls and the guy. And then it's the two girls and the two guys. And they end up going to a party. The girlfriend of Terry and one of the guys, they start playing video games. Well, the other two start macking on each other.
Yeah.
And then meantime, another great comedy scene, okay? The mom, who is with the doofus.
Yes.
She is putting the mac on.
And she's like turning up the heat, right?
She has a platter of liquor.
I do love the body language in this, okay? Because, so she has a platter, right? She, like, pulls out all her... Now, I am in the industry.
Yes.
I work with liquor.
Yes.
And I work with alcohol. Fun fact, in case anyone didn't know.
How funny.
This is hilarious because the tray she sets out, like, normally in your back bar, you would have, like, a variety of, like, spirits and a variety of liqueurs, right? This entire coffee table setup she has is, like, all, like, cream to banana, cream to cocoa, cream to coconut, and this, like, these are, like, low alcohol content, like, creams, and they're treating them like they're, like, high-end fucking liquors. And it's hilarious.
To be creamed.
Yeah.
If you catch my drift.
Well, I mean, there's the biggest bottle is a cream de banana, so there has to be something there.
Cream de banana.
But I just think it's funny that they're treating it like these, like, high-end stuff, which is funny because cordials are not fucking expensive usually.
She's like, hey, this is just an appetizer.
Well, I do love... So I mentioned body language. I love the body language. When she sits down on the couch, he curls up into, like, a little ball. His knees go up, and he, like, starts getting all guarded.
Like a little nervous schoolboy or something. And, she's just, like, being like, wow, this is just an appetizer for what's to come. And she's, like, leaning over to him and all this stuff. And he's, like, reading one of the bottles. She's like, ooh, read it again. And she's like, and then she says, like,
I'm going to go slip into something more comfortable or something like that.
Yeah.
I love, this is one of my favorite lines in the entire movie. I fucking love when she goes into her room and, like, to look after the baby and get into lingerie.
Her baby starts crying.
And she, like, looks and, like, goes and, like, tries to, like, comfort her baby. And she's like, don't worry, mommy's going to get you a rich daddy.
And, she's like looking at her lingerie to put on, and then there's a doorbell.
Yes. And she's like, hey, can you get that? And he's like, sure.
And he goes and he's like, hey, it's that kid again.
And she's like, well, open the door and see what he wants.
And he opens the door, and it's just this this shot of the guy just standing there like, hi. And the guy...
yeah, just, hi.
And you know exactly what's going to happen.
And so the doorbell rings again, and she comes out in her lingerie and starts like dancing and notices he's not there.
Yeah.
And she's like, where'd you go? And the doorbell rings. And she looks through the people and she's like, well, why are you out there, silly? And she opens the door and it's just his fucking head.
On like...
it's strung together with like extension cords.
Yeah, like an extension cords, and like the head is still bleeding. And she screams a bunch. And then she like goes into her closet to get like a coat.
And you see Terry. But you don't see what happens to her.
Yeah. But he's just helping her put it on.
Yep. And so it goes back to, I think, what Todd is still looking around. Now they're playing tennis. Now the two friends are playing.
So there's a scene where they scared...
so they freak out the two people playing video games. Mm-hmm. So this is the friend group.
Yeah.
And so they put on makeup and they scream. And so
they
go in and they scare them. And so they run away. They're like, we're getting out of here. We're going to go
to another party.
Yeah.
And so they go to play tennis. And they're playing tennis, and Terry is watching them. And there's a part where the guy hits the ball, and it goes over the fence.
And the woman's like, okay, I'm going to go grab that.
And then the guy just is so tuckered out that he just sits
lays down
and closes his eyes.
And then Terry throws a tennis ball at them.
There's a shot where, and then this is, again... Even if you didn't notice it.
Continuity is not a thing in this movie.
Your brain did, okay? He's laying there. It's a big wide shot of the whole tennis court. And from the side, you see the ball roll into shot and roll right towards the guy. And then, for like 2 seconds, off from where the ball rolled in, you see the woman start walking back towards him.
Yeah.
And I was like, excuse me? But I was having such a good time, I don't care.
Yeah. Any other movie, it might have bothered you, but...
But in this movie, it's so stupid, I didn't care.
Exactly.
So he's just laying there, and the ball hits him, and he's like, And he puts it under himself and lays back down and closes his eyes.
And then the woman shows up, and she's like, I couldn't find the ball anywhere.
He's like, oh, it's right here. And she said something.
And then he, like, pulls her in. She's like, no, not right here. I have a better idea.
Yeah, they go off somewhere, and then I know there's a scene where the mom is drunk off her fucking ass.
This is when she's calling the operator, too.
Well, there's a bunch of scenes of her calling the operator.
Well, and she's also, like, screaming at the phone.
Yeah, because eventually...
I like how she's holding it, like, in front of her.
Yeah.
And just being like, please, why won't he wake? Why won't he answer? Why won't he answer?
But there's this... After all this... Oh, there's also a scene where she dials the wrong number, too. And has another mental breakdown after dialing the wrong number.
Todd also shows up at one point.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to, is he shows up, and she's, like, in bed, and...
No, he carries her into bed, remember?
Oh, yeah, no, because she just collapses.
Well, because she collapses, and Todd takes her into the bed, and she thinks he's Terry.
And he's like, have they found Todd yet?
And then she, like, reaches her hands out, and she's like, come on over here and give Mommy a kiss.
But there's a part where, again, things, right? You see the room. On her little nightstand, there is just a bottle of wine.
And a glass of wine, specifically.
No. That's what I was getting to.
Oh, okay.
In the wide shot, there's just
a bottle
of wine.
Yeah.
When it cuts to the close-up shots, there's a big old glass of wine there. And then it cuts back to the wide shot.
Wine.
No glass.
No glass of wine.
Bottle. Just bottle. Okay. But again,
who
movie
cares?
is so deep fried, I didn't care.
So she reaches out. They kiss on the lips, and it's like kind of like a lengthy kiss.
I don't know what they're going for.
I don't know what they're going for, because it doesn't imply... It kind of... sort of implies it, but that just might be my brain being fucking stupid.
I don't know if they're even remotely coherent enough when they made this to imply anything. Honestly,
you're the bestest.
You're the bestest. You're the best there ever was.
So we'll get there. And so now it hard cuts to the two tennis players naked on a diving board.
That was her idea of a better place to do it, Will.
A hard ass, stiff diving board.
And they're making out and kissing, and they're completely naked.
Terry comes up.
And then Terry just comes out of nowhere, and he's like,
hey, stop that. You stop that. And they're like, what? And he just swings the machete, kills the guy immediately.
And then he swings it at the girl and kills her, and then he's like, naughty Greg.
Naughty Greg. Naughty Greg. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
And then there's all this stuff.
Because this is like that's the only scene where he does like the baby talk where it's like, naughty Greg. Yeah.
Troll.
I'm just like, what were you going for here?
There's a fucking bit where his girlfriend, his actual girlfriend, is walking around with the other guy, and she's like,
because they're looking for Terry, right?
And she's like, listen, like stuff's been weird, and I know you're really good friends with him.
Can you talk to him? And the guy's clearly got the hots for her. He's like, well, because he's trying to be like, oh, you haven't seen my darker side, and he tries to pull her in close, and Terry, being Terry, grabs her ankles from underneath this like boardwalk, and they scream and she's like, Terry, you scared the hell out of me, and blah blah blah.
And then the guy like leaves while Terry starts macking on her, and where the fuck happened?
Don't they start making out on the couch, right? Because they Terry and her start talking about like where he's been, how he's been distant, and all this stuff, and he's slowly taking off a million pillows from the fucking couch.
So they go to the couch and start making out. Meantime, the guy goes to his car, and there's a whole bit I'll go over right now where Todd walked through the woods and he saw the woman with her body slit in half, and he kindly, like a gentleman, put the torso back with the upper body.
And then he notices the kid is looking for her kitty.
He has a gun. He found a gun that was laying there, so he picks that up. And there's a kid running through the woods looking for a cat. And he tells her, hey, like, there's a bad...
This is their attempt at foreshadowing.
This is hilarious. This is fucking hilarious.
From this movie, this attempt at foreshadowing is...
I've seen worse. Stupid. I've seen much.
I have seen worse, but like
I've seen movies that don't even bother.
It is still funny.
But he tells her, "Hey, there's bad people.
So go back to your home.
Do not open the door.
No matter what you do, no matter what they say, do not open your door."
And then that's it. And then later on,
so the friend's getting in the car, and Todd is in the back seat
with a gun,
and he points he's like, "You're friends with Terry, right?" And he's like, "Oh shit, you're Terry's like cracked out brother."
And he's like, "I want you to like take me to him."
And he points a gun and he's like, "Okay, I'll do whatever you say."
Meanwhile, Terry's on the couch with his girlfriend, and he's like making out with her, and he reaches behind him, throws away one pillow, reaches behind him, throws away another pillow, reaches behind him, throws away another pillow. Yeah, I didn't even see. Throws that, and then he reaches behind him again and throws away another pillow.
And then, of course, I love this movie because their main driver of like getting people from one scene to the next is mainly just doorbells, because the doorbell rings again.
Well, but that's after we get a scene of Todd walking the guy and the guy just talking to himself.
Yeah,
for no reason. But yeah, he goes there and he rings
the doorbell, and so Terry answers it, and Todd and him are there, and Todd points the gun at him
and runs away,
and then can't do it and runs away.
And so he's like, he's got to be stopped. And then he runs off with the friend, and they running through like the fucking swamp. It's like this like boardwalk, and
they find like a pile of weapons,
of kill weapons.
And he like grabs a fork. He's like, "Oh, isn't this for like Thanksgiving?" And then he hands it.
Yeah, this is.
He hands it for. He hands it to Terry. And I love this part because he finds the machete, and he like raises it up, and he's like, "Oh, like
that is not cranberry sauce."
He's like, "That's not cranberry sauce. That is not cranberry sauce."
And then the guy like puts it away like, "Ew."
And then Terry just stabs him with the fork.
He stabs him in the throat
and just like kills him right there. And then he picks up the machete. And he's like, "That is not cranberry sauce. That is not cranberry sauce."
And he's got blood all over him. And then
this is what I'm saying about reactions, right?
Girlfriend,
because he runs up covered in blood.
Yeah.
With a bloody machete.
Yeah.
Now, anyone would be like, he definitely murdered someone right away. Like,
no.
He runs up to the girlfriend and she's like, oh my God, are you hurt? What happened? Why are you carrying a machete?
He's like, this? Oh, my brother's gone psycho. He's just killing everybody. Like, come on, let's go get him.
And she's like, yeah, okay.
No, she's like, let's call the cops. And he's like,
no.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll call the cops. He starts like fucking clown walking.
Well, then he like steps up to her and he's like, hey, I love you. And he says, I love you. And immediately swings the machete but misses her completely.
And she runs away.
And she starts running away.
And I love you.
She doesn't even scream. She just like acts like it's like an inconvenience.
She runs off and eventually gets into
the gym again.
She runs into the house of the woman with the baby.
Oh yeah, and again, it's another continuity thing. Because how the fuck would Terry know exactly where she was going to be?
Well, Terry clearly has magical
teleportation powers and clairvoyance to know where the fuck every character is going in this movie.
He knows.
Because she runs into the room where the baby's crying, and he's just pulling out a machete of the mom.
Yeah.
He's just pulling it out of her chest.
And then the girl
grabs the baby.
No, she runs into another room, and she hides behind a little drawer. And Terry just slowly the machete.
And she just
the machete comes in
I like
the
how
frame.
she just stares at him.
He's like, "Where are you?" and saying all this nonsense. And she has a phone. She's
trying to call the cops, but nothing's happening.
She has a phone in her hand.
And so the machete comes into her view, right? And she just stares at it. And then Terry comes into view and she just stares at him. Just
takes the phone.
No reaction. just fucking full deer in the headlights just stares at him.
But it's fine.
And she grabs the phone
and hits him in the nuts with the phone.
And just fucking cockknockers him and runs out of the room.
And then she runs out, takes the baby, and runs away. As she's running, the baby turns into a nice little plastic doll.
I love the legs are just fucking flopping all over the place,
which is fine. But watching it in HD, it's a little amusing.
Yeah. So she goes into the pool area, right? And so she sees her she doesn't see the friend, so she stops to help the baby, and then Terry shows up.
No, she sees because she runs into the bathrooms in the sauna, and she sees the friends in the sauna.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then she hides in the toilet.
She hides the baby in a little
underneath
cupboard.
The sink, and then goes into the a toilet stall and hides there. And Terry comes in, and he opens the sauna, and he's like, oh, man, you two are still at it?
Wow.
Man.
Oh, I can't believe that. And then he walks around and laughs some more, and then, quote, unquote, leaves. So it gets quiet.
Okay, so... You've seen horror movies. You know he's just right there. He's just waiting.
No, Will.
She comes out of the bathroom stall, doesn't pick up the baby, mind you.
Well, she has no time because he attacks her right away.
Yeah, he comes right out of the corner, and
the baby starts crying. She looks toward the baby, and then he pops out and swings the machete.
Yep, and misses again.
And then she runs out.
She's the final girl. You can't kill the final girl.
I mean, this movie, the structure, sure. She runs away with the baby.
Yes.
Then she runs into Todd.
Yes.
And they have a nice little conversation, and because it's one actor playing two characters, so they can't have,
She runs into Todd at the pool.
You can't have. Because it's one actor playing two characters, you have to do camera tricks.
Well,
see,
listen, they didn't have the budget of those ones where they do the dual film and
No, it's not that fancy.
They're not going to get fancy with it, so they just use doubles,
which is fine. But one of them is really
one
funny.
of them looks great. The Todd double has the worst wig I've ever seen.
He has the young old man wig.
It's the hair color doesn't even remotely match.
It's hilarious.
It is fucking hilarious.
And it's just them confronting each other, and then they start fighting.
And then they tousle into the fucking pool, and they start trying to drown each other.
And then, for whatever reason, Todd is incapacitated, And Terry comes out laughing.
And the mom shows up. And the mom looks at Terry and is like, "This ends now," and shoots him like a bunch of times. Just like basically almost unloads the clip.
And kills him. And then, she comes up to
oh my God, dude.
Todd, and this is when the movie goes extra deep fried. So
she's cradling Todd, right?
It's just us now. It's just gonna be us.
It's just gonna be us. Oh, you're my world. Oh my. Oh, I don't need another man in my life.
You're the best.
Oh, you're the bestest. You're the bestest. Oh man, I don't know what I would do without you. Oh, Terry. I love you. Oh, I love you, Terry.
I love you, Terry. Todd, I'm so glad Todd is dead, Terry. I love you, Terry.
Todd grabs her collar and is like, "I'm Todd." And then we get just both these actors just screaming, "I am Todd," for literally like a minute and a half.
Yeah, the movie goes insane.
They're just, "I am Todd. I am Todd. I am Todd. I'm Todd. I'm Todd. I'm Todd. I'm Todd. I'm Todd. I'm Todd." While they're screaming this, the mom picks up the gun and is like, "Okay, I'm sorry to laugh. I know it's a very serious thing."
Oh yeah, listen, it's a very serious movie, Will.
Well, it's a serious subject, so...
I said this comment while we were watching it. I've never found suicide so funny in my life.
So she grabs the gun, and while they're both just being like, "I am Todd, I am Todd, I'm Todd, I am Todd," she's like slowly raising the gun up to her fucking head, and she's like, "I am Todd, I am Todd," and just blows her brains out.
Yeah, there's just blood everywhere, and then the girlfriend takes the baby, leaves the pool, and then
the movie ends. That's it. Oh God!
Like, what?
We forgot to mention the mom does find the boyfriend eventually.
Oh my God!
And is like, that's how she gets the gun, because he had a gun, and so because she like walks up to him,
and his head comes apart,
and she stares at him for like 30 seconds straight, and then.
Like, "Why didn't you answer the phone? I called you. Why are you ignoring me?"
And then
his dead body is just sitting there.
She like lays on his body. Are we supposed to think that the mom is sane? Because she's not.
No one involved with this film is sane.
None of the characters in this are sane. No one acts sane in this entire movie. Wow. This movie is like so entertainingly bad that
this is hilarious.
It is hilarious. Because it's trying to be so serious.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it?
See that? So that's the thing.
I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't know if they're trying to be serious or they are trying to like a kind of like this weird, fucked up really dark comedy.
I am getting some like tongue in cheek vibes from this thing.
A little bit. I do like how every man is insecure as fuck and like literally
almost no one can take a hint.
None of the men specifically can take a hint. Like, these women are throwing themselves at these men, and they could not care less. Like, they want to watch movies. They want to drink. They want to drink like cream de cocoa and fucking do other things
and read off the labels.
And like, it's just so weird.
It's funny. It's deeply hilarious. I don't know. It's just, this is some funny shit.
This is some funny shit. It is hilarious, and it's very weird, and it's very. I think there is some tongue-in-cheek going on.
There's I'm sorry.
Not all of it is. I think the ending was meant to be serious, but it does not.
Oh my God. We forgot the fucking bit where the girlfriend is running away from Terry, and she knocks on the door of the little girl who Todd ran into.
Oh yeah, and she went on to open the door.
Let me in, and she's like, "No."
Yep.
And then she's like, "No, I was told not to.
I was told not to. I'm not letting anyone in."
She's like, "Listen, I'm serious. I'm being chased by a killer." She's like, "You're gonna hurt my kitty." Cut.
Yeah.
Cut.
You're gonna hurt my kitty. There has to be some tongue in cheek in here.
It's too funny for there not to be any tongue in cheek stuff here.
And if it was meant to be funny, mission accomplished. That was pretty. Yes. That was pretty funny if it's meant to be funny.
Because it's writing that line.
Although I think it's funnier if it was not meant to be funny.
I don't know. It's just some of it's.
There's no way it's not. But I'm saying it's funnier if they were actually earnestly trying to make a like a serious slasher film.
Because it's not hee-haw.
No.
Which I appreciate.
It's not like parody.
Yeah.
It doesn't go into that, but like it's so weird and weirdly made and like just like odd that
it's very odd.
There's no way that there's not someone playing a joke somewhere.
Yeah, no, it's well, plus the awkward, I don't know, some of the awkward like acting.
I mean the voice, the calm voiceover while they're like freaking out. The mom like doing mundane tasks while getting completely drunk. And then calling the operator multiple scenes and like screaming at them that they have to be wrong.
Because eventually the operator basically stops trying to call the fiance.
Oh, we also forgot one of my favorite lines from the mom is when the guy points the gun at Terry and then Terry reacts all like, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry, it's just tranquilizer dart." And like the mom comes out and she's like, "What is that gun?"
How about another great line from the mom when it's like the fiance trying to calm her down, and Terry's just meanwhile off in the corner cleaning off knives, and the dad's trying to calm her down and blah blah blah, and then she's just like not even there, present in the moment, and she's like, "The turkey was amazing." That's all she cares about.
Just out of the blue, the turkey was amazing. She walked off while saying that. The turkey was amazing. The turkey was amazing.
As the fiance's like, "Listen, it's okay. We're going to be safe. Like, we're not in danger. Everything's gonna be fine. It's totally safe. Don't worry." The turkey was amazing. Just...
Okay.
It really is riding that line because it's not hee-haw. You wouldn't tag this or label it as a comedy. But if you are on this wavelength, deeply funny movie.
Yes.
Like, this is the kind of just weird fucking balance where there's just enough in there that it becomes hilarious.
Yes.
Where you can, like, watch it and enjoy it, but something about it, something is deeply hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where I think a lot of people would watch this, and there's a lot of people who probably, again, they wouldn't find it funny. But for us...
Yeah, it kind of it gets that, like, smooth brain, like, just giggle factor going.
Because I'm telling you, every time it would cut to the mom being increasingly drunk, we were losing it.
I don't know. It's like,
because it would just cut from like,
well, they don't like
bloody fucking murder.
When they don't play it like earnestly, like we're supposed to like really care about the fact that she is like this neglectful alcoholic mother. They play it like a joke almost.
Yeah, it's just like a matter of fact.
It's kind of weird. It's like played like a fucking like Mad TV sketch or something.
Yeah.
Where it's just frantically cleaning a house and screaming at phone operators. How am I supposed to feel?
Well, you know that her fiance is propped up on a table dead.
Yeah. Like, how am I supposed to feel? And they keep cutting to the fiance propped up on the table dead.
While Terry just wanders around eventually just cackling at nothing.
And murdering people in broad fucking nighttime.
Talking like
a madman, and no one suspects him of being the killer.
Acting like a salesman or something. And... I will say, like, they do a decent job of splitting up the two twins.
Well, they changed the hairstyle and stuff like that. And
they changed that, and they changed the...
You know who's who.
His posture.
Yeah.
Because, like, when Terry's walking around, I mean, he literally walks around like he's in, like, a fucking, a commercial for, like, antidepressants or something. He's, like... all like happy and like waving his arms, but when it's Todd, he's like kind of
awkward and
slouched over and not confident.
But yeah, I mean,
it's so funny.
It's such a weird movie. It's so weird. It is so weird. Like, I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but it is a weird watch. So I can totally understand if people like do not like this movie at all.
Somebody did actually. It was kind of somebody did kind of recommend this one.
Really?
Which, I mean, we were going to watch this anyway, but whoever that was that wanted us to watch this.
Here you go. I hope you comment on the episode and agree with us. Did you hate it? Did you like it? Anyone can comment that.
Yeah.
I want people to watch this, and I want to know reactions to it. I want to know how people felt about it. Or are we just stupid? Or are we just broken?
Yeah, I know there's people.
And is it really fucking dumb?
I know there's a lot of people who enjoy this.
So and we're just cracked. We're
not alone.
I know we're not alone, but are we the wrong ones, or are they wrong?
Impossible.
I don't know. We're not wrong. We're never wrong.
Absolutely never. Our word is God.
I mean, for this podcast, yes.
It's our podcast. Get your own.
So now we do shitty to pretty. Our review. It's going to be entertainment value if you're new here. We do 1 through 10. 1 being shitty, 10 being really entertaining and very easy to watch and hilarious. And I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do an 8. I think an 8 is a good.
Same.
Yeah, 8 entertainment value because they could have done some more wacky shit to make it like a 10, but they didn't quite go there. But it was wacky enough to like.
It was really fun.
It like that hour and 20 minutes just flew by.
Yeah, no, this is
It was fun. It's just like a quick little slasher movie that is weird as fuck. Has some like pretty real. We didn't mention it's very gory.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
There is a lot of blood in this. There is a lot of blood. Like when like people are getting hacked up, there's like fucking blood flying everywhere. So, it's not like the goriest movie I've seen, but it is gory.
Yeah, it's definitely. You know, they're not skimping on that, and I do appreciate that.
But yeah, no, I think it's entertaining. I think it's a fun watch, especially with like friends and
if you're on the wavelength.
Get some friends that are on your same wavelength that like some weird shit, and get some alcohol if you're into that. And I guarantee you'll have a good time.
You'll have a
good time, and please make fun of the mom as much as we did because. I don't know. Maybe we're not supposed to do that, but we did.
Listen, so if they didn't want us to do that, they should have.
They should have made it more serious.
They should have cut those scenes a little differently.
Yeah, they should have like, I don't know, because the way she acts too is just kind of not
off.
It's not like a serious role, right?
It's off.
There's no way that she was trying to play that seriously. It's just off.
Well, yeah, especially because you know that. She has this weird thing with Terry while...
Well, and I love how they could just kind of like try and shoehorn that into it. I don't know what they were trying to do.
I don't know.
And it like goes nowhere.
Madness.
It goes absolutely nowhere. And I also love how there's no fucking twist. There, like, I was thinking, okay, maybe what they did is like, you know, Todd was the kid that killed the person in the car, and then you blame Terry, and that's why Terry's so fucked up and started killing people.
Because we did watch, what was it called? We watched a movie called The Initiation on here that we liked a lot, and that one
did that
had a twin twist in it.
Well, that's what I thought maybe like the mom, why she's so fucked up is she's like, you know, paranoid, or maybe like there was no twins and she thought there were, like, I don't know.
No, there's just...
No, it's just like there's no twins. You know exactly who the fucking crazy twin is. There's no like, oh, like Todd might be the murderer or Terry might be the... No, it's right away.
Right away.
Terry's the murderer. That's it.
Terry's a psycho motherfucker.
That's it.
Todd's...
There's no mystery in this entire movie.
And you know what?
That's fine. And normally,
yeah,
that would kind of irritate me. But for this movie, it's so stupid that I kind of liked it.
Well, it adds...
I like how they reveal it literally right away.
Well, it adds to like the simplicity of just... He's a bad man. That's it.
That's it. He's an evil twin. That's it.
He's just having a Thanksgiving dinner and he snaps.
And you know what? The real lesson we can learn from all of this, from this entire thing, if you're ever like searching and you're like, okay... What is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of this podcast? What do we want to share with all these people and make it like significant and impactful and like make it so we change people's lives? We're changing lives here.
Changing lives.
And if you're ever questioning yourself, just remember these 3 words. These 3 beautiful, beautiful words. I am Todd.
Thanks, Will.
I am Todd.
You're the bestest.
Just remember,
you're the bestest.
When you're down, when you're just you're just down in the dumps. Just remember, we are Todd.
We are all Todd.
We are all Todd. You can be Todd too, and I am Todd.
Yeah.
I am Todd, and you are Todd, and we are all Todd.
In that moment, we were all Todd. Okay.
That is when they realized that they were all Todd.
That's the twist of the film.
We are Todd.
And then you blow your brains out.
Holy shit. That got dark.
Look, I knew as soon as she started reaching for the gun while screaming, I'm Todd.
I mean, you know exactly what's going to happen.
My brain cracked. It was already cracked when she's like, you're the bestest. You're the bestest. I love you. You're the best. I was just like, I'm losing my fucking mind watching this.
Them both yelling, I am Todd.
Why is she yelling, I'm Todd? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Because it's hilarious.
I don't know. She just decided to do that.
It's like hypnotic. I don't know. Some cult shit. I love it.
If I ever start a cult, it'll be the cult of Todd. And I'll be like, we are Todd. We are Todd. We are Todd. That's just like going to be the mantra.
God.
Right? You just like rock back and forth with like, crisscross applesauce, and you're just like,
I'm Todd.
We are Todd. No. So I say I am Todd, and then everyone else says we are Todd. We are Todd. We are Todd. And that's the cult.
That's it.
That's the cult of Todd. We worship Todd, and then we do a suicide pact at the end while saying we are Todd.
Well, you can't be a hardcore cult without the...
You have to have a suicide pact.
Drink the Kool-Aid or whatever.
I think we are cracked right now. I think we are going off on tangents.
This movie severely cracked us.
Yes. So I think we're going to end it there before we get in more trouble with all this fucking cult talk and suicide shit. So, because it's getting a little dark. For They Mostly Come Out at Night, this has been Will.
This has been Alex, reminding you not to drink the Kool-Aid.
And remember, we are Todd.
And that is not cranberry sauce.
It is not. That is not cranberry sauce.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
We are Todd. I am Todd.